Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all glory, honor, praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai by Hashem HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Alright, I'm finna get into this lesson or, a video on this movie clip, that I seen or I was just watching not too long ago, and I was like, I gotta do a video on this, So I'm just gonna play this clip, it's from the show The 100. And all right, so you see, so basically this clip or this little part of the show, it was kind of like random, but at the same time it was explaining what was coming, because they was talking about basically thermal. I forgot exactly how they worded it, but the word thermal was in there, talking about the fire basically. So these people are just randoms, all right? Just a random little clip of what's coming. And you see right there they got pyramids, and then next thing you know, you got her, being burnt up. So of course, hey, this is spiritual, Yahweh Shema Shai, the Lord, he created this movie. Of course, we know the Lord created everything, but he created it, for us, that have a spiritual eye, And matter of fact, earlier in the movie, or not a movie, but the show, it had 1444, on this little thing, and that be the Lord. The Lord, everything, basically the Lord sends his message out, He always has, gives you signs, he gives you signs that, to let you know that, he's with you, So, I had to do a video on this, See, pyramids representing Egypt, and then, the thermal fire or whatever, look, she's being burnt up. And this is what's coming to what this place is called, spiritually, Sodom and Egypt, So we're going to get that real quick, all right? So this is Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. All right, so first off, the dead bodies, that's going into the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Israelites. All right, it says shall lie. First of all, why are they dead? What is that talking about? That means they were spiritually dead, They was without the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, So being without the true ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're dead, You're spiritually dead, It says shall lie in the street of the great city, that great city being America, aka Babylon the Great, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, all right? Which spiritually, basically meaning figuratively, because this place, here in America, it does the same things as, Sodom and Egypt, from the hardcore, slavery, you know. Uh, from the from all the homo activities, all of that. All right. So now I'm gonna jump down to verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. All right. So what is this talking about? It's talking about, the elect being beamed up into that chariot. All right. The clouds representing, a chariot. All right. This is what's going to, that's how the elect is going to be delivered from, that nuclear fire that's coming here to, Babylon the Great, aka America, through missiles, So this is what's coming, all right? It says, verse 13, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai of heaven. All right. So it says, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. All right, because Babylon the Great, aka America, this is this is the 10th city, 10th part. This is America is divided into 10 FEMA zones, So that's what it's talking about, It's talking about here, Babylon the Great, aka America. All right. And guess what? On completion, whoever is down here, in Babylon the Great, aka America, they're gonna die, by the nuclear fire if they're not already, dead from the former pestilence, or plagues that Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna send before the missiles, But yeah, whoever's left down here is gonna be consumed by that nuclear fire. Let's get some. Zechariah 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right, so see? And you see, basically, look. It's lucky for that lighting, but, you see, the eyes, the tongues, it was all consumed, by the fire. And this is what's coming, Because they, this is a deserved judgment, because they, first off, the prophets are out here, telling our people to get right with Yahweh Shemel Shai, but rather they'll want to stay in good graces with Esau, So guess what? The Lord is going to allow them, to take that micro seed, all right? And that micro seed, that's going to be the Lord is definitely going to leave you, down here, to be burnt up. This is what's coming, all right? But yeah, and especially upon these Edomites, This is a judgment for you Edomites, the nuclear missiles. The Edomites being, so-called white man, It talks about, let me get this. What is that? I don't think it's right here. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So see, first off, that sword being, Yahweh Shem Shai's, or, missile. All right, the nuclear missiles, that's his sword. All right. Salakia. So yeah, that's Yahweh Shem Shai's sword, the nuclear missiles that Russia, Iran, Iraq is gonna shoot off over here, It said it shall be bathed in heaven, all right? Talking about here in Babylon the Great, aka America. This was, the so-called white man's heaven, while the tribes, all right, we was down here, basically in slavery, it still is, but at the time when, it was very much more rigorous, for us, they was, prosper, So this is their heaven, Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, all right? That's a Greek word for saying Edom, all right? And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So see, the missiles is ultimately, for Esau, But of course, the other people are going to get taken down with them, Scriptures talk about that hand in hand join with the with the wicked, something like that, Basically that they're not going to go unpunished. Both of them are going to fall, So you want to join to the white man, guess what? You're going to go down with the white man, And of course, it's not a color thing, But if you're listening, to the people that's in rulership right now, you're down with what they're saying, you're okay with the micro C hipping, guess what? You're gonna fall right along with the Edomites, So this is Zephaniah 1:15. The day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. So see, it's going to be total, because you got to consider this, before the missiles hit, people gonna, it's gonna be announced, them sirens gonna be going off, all right, and these people are just gonna bug out, they're gonna scream in terror, just pass out, all right, bugging out for no reason, they have, it's like, I don't want to say for no reason, but their bugging out is not going to help them, from escaping Yahweh Shem Shai's judgment, But this is what's coming, They're going to have no guidance, all right, none of that. It says, because they have sinned against the Lord. See? And yeah, this is coming upon America, because this place is a total, this place thrives off of abominations, It says, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. Neither shall their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of them, of all them that dwell in the land. So see? So America, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles, all right? These people know it, all right? The people that, made this show, all right? And ultimately, it was Yahweh Shem Shai, that put the spirit on him to do this, because it's definitely spiritual. Look, he put, the pyramids representing Egypt, all right? And then next thing you know, this woman being burnt up, as the scriptures described it, And yeah, this is all because, you mess with, Israel, It's like I just want to see where I want to start. Here, this Jeremiah 50 and verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. And yeah, that's the prophets, all right? The prophets are the ones that's out here, declaring, basically the day of the Lord, of what's about to befall Babylon the Great, aka America, And we're telling you, hey, this is how you escape it, come learn of Yahweh Shem Shai if you want to escape this, But yeah, verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon. That would be the other nations, that holds, nuclear missiles, in their nuclear silos, All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she had done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. So see, this is all coming upon, Babylon the Great, aka America, because it's proud against Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, look how they control the people. All right, they control the so-called white man tries to control the people as if they're Yahweh Shem Shai. So, look, they try to recreate Yahweh Shem Shai's fruit and vegetables, meat, all that. Make it into their how they want it to be. The GMO foods and shit, This devil is proud against Yahweh Shem Shai, So yeah, the Lord is gonna command, or not command, but command, but he's setting up these other nations, to come against Babylon the Great. All right. He got that, spirit in them, to want to destroy Babylon the Great, aka America. There's videos of a whole, I believe it was like a meeting of a big room, and the whole room was screaming DTA, death to America, So it's in the, spirit of these other nations, these heathens, Verse 30, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, said the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord, Yahweh of the hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And Yahweh Shem Shai, he's going to visit, through the missiles, through his plagues, and that ultimate plague being that missile, It says, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. So see, and this, that fire proves that, it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about this future Babylon, all right? The Babylon that we're in right now, Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, this place is going to be burnt up, This whole land is going to be a wasteland, you know? It's going to be that lake of fire. So yeah, that was pretty much it, you know? So Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying. Going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders, great millstone. All right, shalom.